Yeah, greetings, my podges. Welcome back to another great episode. It's December 18th, man. Holiday time again, man. Make sure you get together and love one another. You feel me? But you now rocking with the best man. You rocking with Sharia, lad.
Oh, cool in the building, y'all. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Forever winning, forever winning. You know how we do it without no sinning. You feel me? But look, we're gonna get back to it, man. We was talking about the developmentation of Africa, man, and how Africa is the future, you know, and how everybody kind of got to get prepared for what's the greatness to come, because I think that's a blessing when more parts of the world are able to showcase their greatness, and the development and things that they're doing, because I mean it's cool that one part of the world do it, but we gotta understand that it's not just one place. We got fun in many other places too. You feel me? What you say, Cool?
Yeah, well, you gotta make the world a better place for you and for me and the entire human
Come
race.
on, right? Boy, that's some real words if I ever heard them. You feel me? That's some real words, but it's true. We do got a few clips that we want to hop right into, man. It's Benno Fawcett, man, and Abraham Traore, man, and what they're doing in the development of this road system. And the significance of it is that before he got into power, man, there was basically mud everywhere in the roads. But let's check out this clip, man. Let's see how it goes. We're gonna learn more about it. You feel me? Learn more about it.
Year or longer, far longer, than everything the French managed to build in 50 years in Burkina Faso.
Since the independence up to today, we had just 3,000 something paved roads. But now, with the coming of Traoré, they are planning to pave 5,000 kilometers per year. This is insane. This is unbelievable.
That is a Burkina-based citizen speaking directly from the site where all this progress is unfolding. And indeed, this is happening right now. Just look carefully at this endless line of heavy trucks carrying machines into the country to build Burkina Faso's new roads.
By the authority of the people, I hand over these machines to you. It makes up two lots, as he presented, distinct ones. This one will allow for the paving of the streets you have already started as red dirt roads.
Donc les génies, vous allez voir, tant sur vos chantiers que aussi sur les chantiers de nos forces de défense. Donc pour aller très vite.
So, as I said, I think the pace must now go faster. Therefore, the goal is to move very quickly in earthworks and the creation of infrastructure for the benefit of our forces and our populations. So make good use of them, and we will be here to support you throughout the working life of these machines. Thank you.
And you can see the people working and putting together their effort to get it done, man.
The results speak for themselves. Smooth, wide, modern roads. Highways that look just like what you'd expect in fully developed nations. But here's the part that truly blows people away.
You think Burkina Faso is safe? No.
All of this is being built without the outrageous costs that usually come with foreign contractors across Africa. Contracts that often fail to deliver the results people expected. Instead, everything you're seeing in Burkina Faso is being built by Burkinabe themselves. From the president personally operating this massive road machine, to ordinary citizens manufacturing pavement blocks used for the roads. Even young children are participating, and the soldiers are out there too, adding their contribution. Even the mothers of the country haven't been left behind. Just watch this woman pushing a wheelbarrow filled with sand, part of her support for the national effort.
Le Burkina Faso, c'est nous. Aujourd'hui, c'est à nous de le construire. Pour notre pays, je m'engage à
And of course, you can't build modern roads without cement. This elderly woman, well into her 80s, heard about her country's mission to rebuild itself on television, and she refused to just sit and watch. Despite her age and her limited means, but with a heart full of patriotism, she sacrificed 2 bags of cement from her own savings. Her son helped her load them into the car. You can see it right here. And then she explains it in her own words.
I liked the initiative. That's why I made my contribution. I'm really happy to be here and to contribute. For those who haven't yet made their contribution, they should hurry and come here.
My friends, this spirit, this level of citizens building their own nation with their own hands, is something incredibly rare in the world today. This is genuine nation building carried out by the people themselves, showing the deep love they have for their country and for the leader guiding them. From equipment to funding to manpower to the companies coordinating the works. Everything is being done by Burkina Bay citizens with no foreign aid and no dependence on loans from global powers. And don't assume that citizen-built means low quality. Captain Ibrahim Traoré addresses that concern directly.
Quant à la qualité, comme vous le constatez pour ce qui est lancé,
As for quality, as you can see, for what has been launched, we do not want to lay tarmac in Rabat, we want to build sustainable infrastructure. We therefore call upon the companies present here as witnesses. The quality of the work will depend on what they do, and their ability to operate in Burkina Faso will also depend on what they deliver at the end.
In this video, I'm going to break down the wild strategy. Captain
See, that's amazing, man. You know, it's the fact that those people came together and they said, you know what? We got the opportunity to build this. And what I like is that when you have a leader like Abraham Pion, he understands that all hands on deck. And that don't just mean military people. That means military, women, kids, men, everybody. Everybody's going to do a part of the effort, right? It don't mean that the kids going to be out there slamming bricks and all that stuff. Yeah, certain kids of different ages and all that stuff, but everybody has their part in the development of these roads, in the development of the new way of life in Burkina Faso, you know? So it's just amazing, man. It's amazing to show how these things happen, you know? And I'm gonna get back to the clip because, you know, I want y'all to see where it once came from and to where it's at now. Because, man, it's amazing transformation that takes place. And it has to be seen, man, because sometimes they talk about like coups, when the coup happened, it being a bad thing. A lot of time it is, to be honest with you. But this is one of the few times in history where the person who took over actually had care for the country and wanted to really develop the country and have everybody be successful in the country. And that is rare, for him to actually get the power and continue to add wisdom to the power, not letting the power corrupt it, you know? But I'm gonna keep on rolling. If you got anything to say, just unmute and say what you gotta say. But if not, I'm gonna keep on clipping it up. Clipping it up, clipping it up, clipping it up.
point that today's massive infrastructure revolution was born. When Traoré took power, the roads in Burkina Faso were almost non-existent. Aside from the old colonial-era network, roughly 3,000 kilometers, most of it was ruined and unusable. And even the so-called national roads were tiny and outdated, like this one in Bobo Dioulasso. You can clearly see how narrow it is, despite being labeled a national road, which is why they're now expanding it. In 2022, Traoré inherited a nation eaten alive by corruption. A country poor, underdeveloped, and completely dependent on a colonial mentality. To build even the smallest road, you needed a loan from Washington, a permit from Paris, or sometimes a contractor from Beijing. And we all know what loans do to African nations. They come with conditions, political strings, and at times they turn entire countries into hostages. The most recent example, well known across the continent, is Kenya. Traoré's philosophy was clear from day one: cut every colonial chain. He even criticized very sharply the mindset of some African leaders who danced to every tune played by the colonizer.
Il faut que nous, chefs d'État africains, nous arrêtons de nous comporter donc en marionnettes qui dansent à chaque fois que les impérialistes tirent sur les ficelles.
This is one of the speeches that made Traoré a continental icon, delivered in 2023 during the Russia-Africa Summit.
You like Ibrahim Traoré?
Oh, that is my friend.
I stand firmly with Ibrahim Traoré. If they dare touch Ibrahim Traoré, they will regret.
Ibrahim Traoré is good.
Ibrahim Traoré is good. Very good.
Very good.
That criticism came from a place of evidence, not just emotion. Up to 2014, the CIA World Factbook listed only 15,304 kilometers of roads in Burkina Faso. And out of all that, only 3,642 kilometers were paved. After more than 6 decades, the country was still connected by dirt tracks. If you wanted to travel from Ouagadougou to the resource-rich north, you didn't just pay with fuel. You paid with time, broken axles, and sometimes your life. And we all know, roads are the arteries of commerce. For decades, the narrative was the same. Burkina Faso is poor. It is landlocked. If it wanted a simple 100-kilometer highway, it would apply for a loan from the World Bank or the African Development Bank. The loan came with conditions. The contract went to a foreign company. They imported their engineers, their machines, sometimes even their own foremen. The price? Astronomical. In the West African region, paving a single kilometer of road costs between 300 million and 600 million CFA. That's about 500,000 to 1 million USD per kilometer. By the time Traoré's coup happened in September 2022, the country was broken. Not only because jihadist groups controlled up to 40% of the territory, but also because there was no asphalt. The army couldn't respond to attacks. Their trucks got stuck in the mud. The Boucle du Mouhoun, the granary of the West, couldn't supply the capital because the roads were impassable. The road itself had become the security threat. Traoré understood one thing: you cannot win a war on a borrowed road. So he introduced a new doctrine: endogenous development, meaning we do it ourselves. But how do you fund such a revolution? In a series of explosive meetings with the forces Vive de la Nation, chiefs, unions, religious leaders, Traoré laid out a bold plan. He asked a historic question: why does our gold leave the country but our roads remain unpaved? He didn't call them to listen. He called them to contribute. The government reviewed mining codes, demanded higher revenues from foreign mining companies, and launched APEC, an agency where citizens buy shares and invest directly in their own factories and roads. But the turning point came when Traoré analyzed the real cost of infrastructure. He applied pure first principles thinking. He realized most of the money was swallowed by intermediaries, the profit margins of private construction firms. So he cut them out. The state itself would become the construction company. He went back to basics and asked himself, instead of paying someone else to build a road, what if we simply gather the materials and build it ourselves? What would it really take? And once he did the math, he saw it was not only possible, it was transformative. He promised to reverse the country's development crisis, with infrastructure as priority number one. And then Traoré declared an unprecedented target: to build roughly 5,000 kilometers of paved roads every single year. This aim didn't just break records, it shattered them by a factor of 100. Why? Because between 1960 and 2022, Burkina Faso built only 3,642 kilometers of paved roads. That means, for decades, the country was constructing just 56 kilometers of paved road per year. Meanwhile, Traoré is targeting 5,000 kilometers every single year. That is literally 100 times more. It sounds insane, but these aren't just words. The work has already begun. In 2024, the world saw Traoré's doctrine in action. In a massive national ceremony, Captain Traoré handed over the keys to a fleet of engineering equipment that shocked everyone who witnessed it. We are talking about over 900 pieces of heavy machinery: bulldozers, graders, excavators, compactors, low-bed trucks, works. Now, who's partnering on this? While the West hesitated to sell machinery, especially anything close to military grade, because of the coup, Burkina Faso looked east. Most of the visible brands were top-tier Chinese heavy industry manufacturers like XCMG and Sany. But here's the twist. Traoré insists this wasn't aid. They were not gifts from Beijing. They were bought with Burkina Faso's own state funds. He handed this entire fleet directly to the Brigade Nationale de Travaux and the Génie Militaire, the military engineers. The logic is ruthless and brilliant. A soldier building a road doesn't charge a profit margin, and a soldier building a road doesn't halt construction because of insecurity. In fact, they are the security. In this footage, you can see soldiers offloading cement for pavement construction. And here, Burkinabe soldiers are literally building the road pavements themselves. Considering that Traoré rejected IMF and World Bank loans, there was absolutely no way he could achieve all this without directly mobilizing the Burkinabe population, insisting on a completely homegrown approach to development. At the heart of this plan is a new initiative called Faso Mebo. In Mooré, it means building the fatherland, or the construction of the country. This program became the flagship of nationwide road building and urban transformation. Faso Mebo formally launched in late 2024 with a pilot project in Ouagadougou. By May 2025, the capital phase had already paved over 9 kilometers of city streets, almost hitting its initial 10-kilometer goal. Specialized crews swept through the neighborhoods, rebuilding roads, sidewalks, and medians. Downtown boulevards received brand new asphalt, new curbs, and green strips, all made with local Burkinabe labor and local materials. And importantly, the government framed this as a cost-cutting revolution. The goal? To clean, upgrade, and pave the cities of Ouagadougou, Bobo-Dioulasso, and Koudougou without waiting for a World Bank tender or anyone else's permission. Here's how it works. Instead of hiring a company to pave a neighborhood street, the initiative mobilizes the community. By using local resources and volunteer brigades, this new model seeks to reduce expenses and improve infrastructure efficiency. In practice, this means using local gravel, cement, and asphalt, materials provided by the government and by ordinary citizens and organizations, combined with volunteers, including newly hired youth and members of the defense militia. Instead of outsourcing to foreign firms, Burkina Faso is using its own hands, its own tools, and its own people. The result? A dramatically cheaper pavement process. As one policy article explains,
because it's no longer just the government's business, it's the business of every Burkinabe company. So for us, we consider that we are fulfilling our role by supporting this kind of initiative, just as we also support other initiatives for the well-being of the population.
The Faso Mebo model rebuilds cities and roads by the people, for the people, drawing power from national pride and community labor. And while the West keeps slapping the label of non-democratic nation on Burkina Faso, the country has invented something entirely new. Let's call it buildocracy, a system where the very act of building becomes the ultimate expression of national identity. This is arguably the most innovative public administration model in Burkina Faso's history. Remember that elderly woman in her 80s who donated 2 bags of cement to help build the roads? Well, she's not the only one. Here is another mother doing exactly the same thing, handing over 30 bags of cement from her own pocket.
Faso Mebo, with the building of the nation, we have made our modest contribution of 30 bags of cement. My message is to invite all organizations and civil society in the central region in particular.
You can see she hauled them in the back of her van, and a soldier steps in to help her unload the bags. And as one woman on the ground explains, none of this would be possible without the women of Burkina Faso. When it comes to manpower, Burkinabe citizens have embraced this mission with their whole hearts. Just look at the hands of this young girl. He showed up during his school break, ready to work.
Comme c'est les vacances, au lieu de rester à la maison à ne rien faire, je préfère venir ici à aider pour construire mon pays.
And it goes beyond that. Even little children on vacation are being trained in national values, patriotism, community service, the works. Look at these kids molding pavement bricks with pure joy and excitement. But it's not only children. Students, volunteers, and ordinary civilians are joining hands with soldiers to build these modern roads. Dozens of military engineers and civil servants now serve as instructors, training everyday citizens to lay asphalt and install sidewalks. From the president himself, who isn't afraid to join farmers in their tomato fields, to the ordinary citizens who boldly build their own roads without waiting for external approval or foreign aid, this is a new national psychology. This is psychological warfare as much as it is construction. It sends a single, crystal clear message to the population. No one is coming to save you. You must build your own sidewalk. And now, right here, at this moment, is the real secret behind Ibrahim Traore's ability to build this staggering amount of roads in Burkina Faso in such a short period of time. Not even a full set of years. By using local inputs and unpaid volunteer labor, Faso Mebo claims drastically lower costs than traditional contracts. The government hasn't released detailed cost comparisons yet, but observers point out that Chinese-built roads in Africa often cost $2 to $3 million per kilometer. Reports suggest Burkina Faso's model can slash that by over half. One road builder even noted that using local gravel and community crews can reduce costs by 60 to 80% compared to foreign bids. And crucially, these projects are being financed mostly through national coffers and patriotic contributions rather than external debt. In short, Burkina is funding the bulk of these roads itself. Now, to be fair, a few major legacy projects still utilize foreign loans. For instance, the RN23 highway was financed by Saudi lenders, and the new Ouagabobo highway is supported by a Chinese loan. But the real heartbeat of the construction, the day-to-day building, the paving, the training, the mobilizing, that is happening inside the country using Burkinabe hands and Burkinabe materials.
That's it right there, man. And that's the beautiful thing about it, man. It's really turning around everything everybody has ever said about you and saying and not listening to them and maneuvering in your own way. You feel me? Or cool, like, man, they laid it out how they did it, how you give shares to the people. Man, what you think? That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's the key part right there.
Mm-hmm.
So they basically part of the country.
Right. And the nationalism is built into building up your community and different things. And that's what makes the pride stay there. And that's what makes people not want to mess it up, not want to destroy anything, not want to do nothing dumb. Because why? They the ones who built it, you know? And that's the same.
Yeah, because...
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that because that's cutting in your pocket.
Right? and it cuts into what you work hard for. Because, see, it's one thing when you give something to somebody, but it's the next thing when they work for it, you know? Then they feel it and they appreciate it a little bit more.
Well, they appreciate it a lot more.
You know? And then how he took... You see how he took the middleman out the way, like the contractors and everything? He said, no, the military is going to be the contractors of this. And the military is going to hire people and make sure people get paid. And that's the only way to do it, Aku. Because if you do it any other way, especially in the Africa countries, it's like they'd find a way to be corrupt with it, you know?
I wouldn't say that's the only way to do it, but that's a good way to do it. It's different from what they was doing before,
right?
And people wasn't getting money, so I say that's a start on doing something. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's a start, and that is in the right direction because now you got the people working with you instead of against you. At least that's what it seems, because you still got them 1 or 2 people that's still going against it.
Yeah. They were born that way. They were born that way, but they would definitely cease to feel too, because a lot of times once people like to be in groups, So we like to go along and get along with people, even if you have one or two people that's just really out of their cycle or whatever. But they will get arrested. You know, they're gonna do something that's gonna get them arrested because it ain't like they being soft either. Like they say, the reason why they're using the army too is because they are the security. Like if anybody try to do anything crazy, them boys right there, they on the job site. You
Yeah,
see?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I get what you're saying.
So there ain't much nobody could do except for if they don't accept the right will, they'll be forced to do the right thing. You feel me? And the
Yeah.
blessing is, go ahead, my bad.
No, I ain't saying nothing. Go ahead, bro.
Oh, the blessing is that they they utilizing power to me in a proper manner, from what it seems. You see, in order to advance their nation. Because he's showing everybody, he's like, not only is this good for commerce, this is good for the military, this is good for everybody. We need roads. Because, man, you see how it was before? It was all mud. And when it rained, it's like lakes. Like, ain't nothing going on there. It's like, wow.
Yeah, it's gonna be modernized, bro. It's gonna be it's basically, I hate to say it, but a new world.
It's coming. Yeah, it's coming, man. The new world is coming, man. And speaking about that, man, this is why I wanted us to watch this other clip, man, about this place. I forgot what it's called in Africa. It's Ethiopia, man. It's in Ethiopia, man, in Africa, man. But let's just look at the clip before I say the wrong thing, man. Let me just let the clip run. You feel me?
Allow me to say this once again a little louder for those of you in the back. The future is African.
Can you believe it? This is Africa. I have been coming to this country for the past 6 years, and the transformation that is happening in this country deserves an applaud, man. What's your impression of the new Addis Ababa?
The futuristic looks of the city. Just sidewalk, everything.
Oh, wow.
Developed, civilized.
I love how the city is so organized, like cars are just respecting the rules, the pedestrians are respecting the rules. Literally everyone within the city is obeying the law.
Welcome to Addis Ababa.
And in English?
Means new flower.
He was surprised she said that in English.
Wow, that makes sense. That is why the city is absolutely beautiful, because the city is living up to its name. This is Addis Ababa, bro. And you don't want to see this at night, because the entire city lights up at night. You might even think that you're somewhere in New York, but that is not New York. This is Addis Ababa. But we're filming at night time, and you don't think what we're seeing is so beautiful?
Yeah, it's so beautiful.
How do you feel knowing that your city lights up at night?
So beautiful, I love it.
You love it?
Yeah.
A big round of applause to the people of this beautiful country, man. I just can't stop, because I feel like they deserve it.
As a brother African countries, to have a great leader like us, because we need a dreamers.
Woo!
Most of all politicians, more focus on talking, not.
He said you need more dreamers.
We see more talking, we see action.
Action, no talk. And that's the difference.
New generation, a strong youth generation, thinker generation, like Mandela, like Haile Selassie, like many. Wherever you are my African brother. Hope you have a good day, have a good life, have a good dream. Never stop dreaming. Always work for country. Even if you are in Europe, even if you are in America, never forget your country, your home country, Mama Africa.
He said, no matter where you at, don't forget your home continent, Mama Africa. Look at
it. Like, is your city built like this? This is Africa. This is Ethiopia. This is Addis Ababa. Hi, how are you? Pleasure meeting you. Thanks for watching the videos. Thank you.
Addis Ababa. Man, that's amazing, man. Y'all see how they do what they do when they do what they do. And I like what they do, how they do what they do. You feel me? And I'm gonna find a part of the clip too where they show you the transformation, man, of where it once came, to where it went, Did I find it that easy? Hold on, let me see. I might have found it that easy. Hold on, let me see my podcast. Check this out real quick.
Was definitely not like this. Addis Ababa is my most visited city in Africa, and my first visit was in 2018, and this is how the city looked like. Yo, good morning, what's up everybody? It's your boy Mr. Ghana Baby once again. As you can see, I told you guys that I'm coming to Addis Ababa. I see your boy right here in Addis Ababa. You see, such a beautiful city, and the more I visit, the more changes I see. I'm in Ethiopia, but currently in Addis Ababa. This city never stops to amaze me. I think I've been in Addis Ababa more than any cities in Africa, and anytime that I come in here, you see something new. I feel like the development of this country is growing so fast, because the last time I came here, it moves all of this, man. And in 2025, this is not Addis Ababa I was expecting. Welcome back home, man.
What's going on? This is my third time, my homeland. Addis Ababa, yes sir.
And how do you see Addis Ababa after coming back?
Oh my lord, it's different, man. I don't know what is this place. I think I'm in the wrong place in the world.
Really?
This is very modernized.
Oh, before it was not like this?
Before it was not like this. Now it's improved, progressed.
And the transformation that you see is that as the corridor developmental project. And it starts as soon as you touch down at the airport. This airport is one of the busiest airports in the entire Africa. And when I first came in here, the domestic terminal didn't exist. You wouldn't believe what I'm about to tell you. 5 years ago when I came to this country, there was nothing like a separate domestic terminal. It was both the domestic and the international marketplace. So seeing that you have a new domestic.
Yeah, that means they climbing the ladder, man. They doing their thing. You feel me? And that's amazing to see, man. Cool, you feel me? That's what I like to see, man. Breaking it down and getting rid of that spirit of defeat, man. And because we have the power to do and be whatever we want to be and go as high as we can dream to go. That's why the young African brother was like, man, we need dreamers, man. We need dreamers and people who gonna go after their dream and we're gonna do that thing, You don't need people who afraid and might be, and don't want to be ready,
People are not prepared for that. Like, they're the farthest thing away.
So I mean, that's how it go, cool. That's how I go, bro. But I do got another clip, man. Go ahead, bro. Talk.
Well, no, I ain't nothing to say. I just didn't know.
Didn't know what?
I don't know because you said you know. I said I don't know.
Oh, okay.
So
Well, you do got the power. You got the power to be whatever you want to be and achieve whatever you want to achieve. It takes a dream, you know. It takes teamwork to make that dream work, you know. As you can see, and that's
okay.
yeah. That's why a lot of people, you know, emphasizing that. Not a lot of people, but very wise people are emphasizing that. Like, yeah, it's cool to do things by yourself, but man, when you get a team and a team that's rocking with you, you're moving forward. You know. And
All right.
a lot of people don't like to hear that because America done got us on this mind state of, you know, certain things they do. You know how they do. You know, they make us feel like we don't make that much impact and we don't have that much influence in what we got going on in our life. And so that's why we here on this podcast. We here to tell you, man, you got the power. You got the power to be whatever you want to be. You feel me? That's some 80s stuff.
Okay, say that's the 80s stuff.
You feel me?
Okay. Someone did their research.
Already. but I do got another clip, man. You know, we got 19 Keys, man, on Earn Your Leisure, man. They were talking a little bit about that, man. About the fact of, you know, how it influence and impact and how it switched up over time. Because, you know, back in the day, it was harder to impact and influence people because it was only so many avenues people can consume media from, you know. So now that it's many different avenues and there's a lot of things being said, a lot of different ways to consume media, you know, hopefully the people will understand how to do it the right way, you know, or the way that is best for them. Because, you know, my way might not be the right way. But let's get to the clip. Talking too much.
Instead of saying that, how can I affect this? So I was looking at what's the guy who played Robin on Batman? He was talking about AI, and he was talking about how state regulations and AI is going to affect children, right? And he was given some simple ways to affect the impact of the legislation by calling in to local government or whatever it is. And it had me thinking like, damn, people hear news and they think that is law. Right? We hear that things are being brought in and we're like, oh, well, that was about to happen. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. There's nothing I can do. And that's not reality at all. Reality is you can still impact things. And I think that if there's a message that people need to understand is that, like, if you're living in this time, you still get to impact this time.
How do you, because a lot of people feel like you can't have any impact, it's useless, because it's like the political power has been centralized like we haven't seen in modern history. And they're moving. Project 2025 is almost 70% done. So a lot of people feel like they're powerless.
Yeah, I'm sure the people that wrote Project 2025 felt like that before they wrote it and executed it. Yeah, I mean,
no. Well, to push back respectfully, the people that wrote Project 2025 is very
in power,
powerful, rich. They didn't. I'm talking about the people that don't have money, that's just trying to survive, which that's the vast majority of people, right? They don't have influence. They don't have any relationship with government. Those people.
But none of those things are actually true. Right now, anybody can get on a social media platform and have influence if they put out content the right way.
But they're throttling the influence, though.
Right, but shit, nowadays you can talk about anything on social media and go viral. People talking about Israel, back in the day, the Overton window to speak upon these things was very small. You couldn't speak on these things and not have your platform, you know what I mean, deep platform.
Removed. Yeah.
Well, you bring up a good point, but we also spoke about the fact that since there's so much people talking, it kind of diffuses the impact, because it's not like, okay, one person says something, now this is everybody's saying anything now. So it's like the value of going viral has even gotten diminished.
Organization. It is only one thing that organization fears: organization. Infrastructure behind influence is power. Right? And so the goal is not just that you have influence, it's the way we're using it. See, in that video, what he was talking about was he gave you specifically who to call, and that if it reaches a certain percentage of people that call in, it does impact the bill. It happened to the Big Beautiful bill when they tried to put it in there in the first place. People got wind of it. It reached a level of awareness, and then they had to extract it and take it out. Now they're trying to find a new way. The idea is that you get people to believe they don't have power, and they no longer have it. Right? It's never will be true in the history of the world that people don't have power, because the people can always decide collectively. It's just, can you influence and create enough awareness on any problem? If you want to change anything in government, get money going through things, you always have to bring awareness to it first. After the awareness, that's when you have to be more intentional about where that energy and that intention flows, right? What is the mechanism of impact? Bring influence and awareness to that, organize the people under that, then you can make effective change. What's happening is that there's disorganization, right? So there's influence without infrastructure, so therefore there's awareness, but there is no plan of action. There's no architecture to the influence. And that's what they hope, that we're just comfortable with, having the ability to communicate things without organizing the actual impact. So we've monetized activism, right? We've monetized social activism and things of that nature, and it becomes a part of just a capitalist cycle, but it's not actually making change. Take the Diddy documentary. Diddy was an extreme capitalist, right? Most of the thing he did was for money. He was to get money. He did those things. He gets arrested for them, right? Essentially for being a very crude and extreme capitalist. 50 Cent was a capitalist, make a documentary about him. 50 Cent is not trying to make impact and change, right, things on a vast scale in Hollywood or the industry. He wants to make more money. It's all just one cycle of capitalism. That's all it is. And so what's happening is that the people who actually have the voice and have leadership, I believe, are getting caught up in the cycle of capitalism as well, where just having a voice and getting paid off using that voice is becoming enough, instead of thinking about ways to create alternative systems and create real impact, because people have become tired and burnt out, right, of trying. But it's the trying is not the problem. It's that you're not being effective because you're not doing the right thing.
Do you think the people want the power or the responsibility that comes with the power you're talking about?
I think ideally they want it, but in practice, no. Most people, like you said, are just trying to survive, right? Like the whole system is set up, right, for survival, not to thrive. Like y'all, you talk about, let's say, children in school, right? I've been like really writing a lot, studying a lot, more deep into these guys about just understanding where we are in time and where we are in mind, right? Like most people suffer because they live a life that is mismatched with the way that they actually think. So you would look at somebody doing a podcast, and you'd be like, man, they're very powerful, they get money and things of that nature, they monetize it, I want to do that. But the way your brain works is you're not good in front of a camera, you're not a great communicator, you don't know how to study and put together copy. You might be a creative, but you don't have none of those framework, infrastructure things that will allow you to actually be good at doing this thing. So when you try it, you're going to need way more willpower, more discipline, and it's going to actually become more taxing on your brain, and you're going to burn out, right? People want the reward of the power, but they don't want the responsibility of developing that power. And so I think that we have a whole society that's been trained to be workers and not thinkers, right, as we know. And this comes from a Prussian model of discipline that doesn't actually fit people today, that's outdated. So, yes, I do think that people want the responsibility ideally, but practically when it actually comes time to taking accountability and doing those things, I don't think that people's minds are fit to do it. And they're not allowing the people that actually have the ability to lead. Because it's also easier to discredit leadership than any time ever before. So you might get a great mind that's perfect for it, but then you might not like one thing they do, one thing they say. right? And this is the most dangerous time because you want to allow leadership to lead because you act like they need to be perfect in everything. Donald Trump is nowhere near perfect, but his base allows him to lead.
That's true. Let me ask you this: as far as
And that's a good point, man. We're gonna leave it right there, man, for sure. Because like, what people don't understand is that, man, leaders are not perfect, right? And when you write down the history, like, yeah, they tell you about the great things they do, and it's good because we don't really need to know the bad things they do unless it's horrendous, you know. So like, you know, but hey, what'd you say, Cool? I know I be talking a lot. What'd you say? But they
Oh
just feel like we don't have nothing, man. Like we ain't nothing. We don't.
boy. Yeah. What I get and what's key, what I see is what he make a lot of sense, and what brought light to what he's saying is about the content. Yeah, a lot of people just talking, but when it comes down to the action part, they ain't want to take that action. You know what I'm saying? That's what I basically get what he's saying. You see what I'm saying? That's what it basically what it is. And that's kind of true because a lot of people doing it for the money. You see what I'm saying? And like someone said, it's cheaper to talk. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's cheap to talk. You know what I'm saying? Talking that's cheap. You know what I'm saying? Action is where it comes. You see what I'm saying? That's where the true value is. But then you got some people that's not talking and just doing action. You see what I'm saying? But they don't get no recognition. You see what I'm saying?
Because they not talking. And like he was saying, it's like
No.
it's a science to whatever you're doing, and you gotta develop all parts of the science, you know, and all
Right.
that takes work,
Right.
development, self-improvement, you know. So if you don't develop, it's like, how do you expect to get the best out of it? How do you expect to stand out? How do you expect to be the greatest? And that's what he's saying. He's like, in these days and times, like we kind of lost that, you know, that willingness to push ourselves to greater levels. You feel me? And
Yeah. But I think that's changing though.
you believe so?
Yeah, because on my day actions and day movements, I hear a lot of people speaking about leveling up. Like they don't want to stay in the same level they at. They like everybody who I come across certain people you see they trying to push to greater another level. Like they trying to level up. Like they ain't trying to stay on this certain level forever. You see what I'm saying? Say like they trying to grow.
Correct.
So that's why I say it's kind of changing, and a lot of people trying to grow. Like they not really saying it, but they just like you could like
See,
if you get them to talk, that's what they plan on doing. You see what I'm saying?
I feel you.
If you get them to talk, yeah, but a lot of them just trying to do it. You see, because
Right. But that's where the value is at. It's in the action. Because you know, like you said, you could talk all you want to talk about. You want to elevate. It sounds great, but if you're not putting in the action day after day, night after night, because it's a slow grind, you know, it's a slow grind.
right.
So I agree with Keys, and but from that grind, it's great reward. Because then you have influence, and then you can always. Like, to say you might have something in your mind, you be like, boy, if the world do that differently, it'll be better, right? And I think everybody has something that hits them that they be like, you know what, I could do it better, you know? And to me, if we have a world that allows that to thrive, then guess what? We'll have a better world. It's simple as plain. The proof is in the pudding. You see me?
I believe we have that going already though, because it is a competition, and like how the Chinese and America are always competing on who coming out with the best product, and always redoing each other's product. So we have that kind of competition going on. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, on a greater scale. But as far as every human doing that, because see, when China and America do that, that's only a few handful of people, whoever is in the top level of those governments, you know. But like what 19 Keys saying is, if the governments who everybody kind of looks up to in a way, if they would influence the people to be like, look, it's okay to be inventors, creators, to have your own mind, to think your own way, then we will have more greater things for the world. And I'm not talking about on a small scale, like the placate scale, like oh, you can go to work and do
Okay.
the work, you know.
Yeah, but but when things like that happen, the government usually comes sweeps in and steal your stuff, bro.
Right. That's real.
You see what I'm saying? So a lot of people really ain't trying to go through all that, so they stay low key. You see what I'm saying? They it's like they want you to go in the visual or be a freedom thinker. You know what I'm saying? And develop. But then they come like thieves and they steal your ideas, bro. They steal your ideas, lock you up. They do all type of stuff, you know what I'm saying? And then they come up with, look at Tesla, bro. The dude Tesla, all the stuff he created, man, they what you call it, man? They shut that man down. And now they coming up with all type of stuff what he had. They stole all his research.
Right. Yeah. Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that's a bad way of doing it. And that's why we displayed the Burkina Faso way. And you know, it's not like that way being around, but has not been practiced for a while. But that's what happened when government do act right, when they do involve everybody and allow everybody's idea to be heard. Because when you have power, especially in a like capitalistic mindset, it can easily be corrupt. Because you thinking that you have to stomp on other people to get where you're going. You thinking that you have to be the only one to have a great idea to keep this dominance. You know?
Right.
So that's the unfortunate thing, man. And it's, you know, one of the things that I want everybody to like copy Adrian on. And also what 19 Keys say, man, it's like just let's get away. Competition is good, but it's a certain way we need to compete. Not compete to bring each other down, but just compete to be the better one. That's just it. You see me? Small things, man. Small things to our Padres who are some giants. You know, it's small things. You understand me? But that's it for today's show, my Padres, man. Thank y'all for hanging in, rocking in there. Remember that, listen, you have the influence to change your world in the way you want to change it, man. Look, remember to like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. You dig me? Cool, what you got for the people, bro?
Only time will tell, man. Only time will tell, man.
And only God can judge him, you feel me? Ain't no thing, man, my Padre. But what I would like y'all to do, man, I want y'all to keep your head up, never get fed up, whilst I do the same.
One, my Lord.